folks, welcome to SportsFocus Cowboy Edition. That's right. This whole episode is all about them Cowboys. Cowboys talk. We have Mr. Civils, a Cowboy fan, and also Mr. Jeffrey Gissum, cool Cowboy fan. I like that. We gonna kick it off. We gonna kick it off about Mr. Jones. You know, I figured, if we're gonna do this, let's start with the not so good in this team. The team that I can truly say we love. They've been bad to us the last couple of decades. Now let's talk about Mr. Jones now. The job that Jerry Jones has done with this team, with America's team, the most valuable team in all professional sports in the world, and they are a losing team. Should this man still have a job as general manager? Because he has two jobs, titles, general manager and owner. Should he still be the general manager? I know it's his team. It's his team. He can do whatever he wants. But
you know what he said? He said, "Why hire a general manager when all he has to do, he gonna come to me anyway because I gotta write the checks."
But he's not doing a good job though.
That's the thing. But it's gonna stay to his head anyway that I gotta control everything. You know how he is. He want to get down there with the players, with the coaches. He's almost like whispering the plays in the coach's head and just saying like.
Now, do you actually believe that he's like an Al Davis type? Because I know Al Davis used to coach the Raiders. So I can see Al Davis doing that. Can you see actually Jerry Jones going down to the sideline or, calling someone to be like, do this or do that?
Jerry hasn't played football since his Arkansas days.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, right. You think he's actually going to call a play? No.
So that's sort of like I would say a misconception on Jerry Jones. I guess that's the only thing we can give him. So do you think I really believe that, because we talked about this as far as repenting. I think Jerry Jones should be the bigger man and step down as the general manager. And he could be the owner. Of course, he's the owner. He can do whatever he wants, but step down as the general manager.
That'd probably be best, but I mean, for me, I just don't know if he's ever going to do something like that. I mean, his son is helping him out greatly from the drafts that we've seen before, but for him to do that is like, you almost really like taking his legs off right there. He's really not going to budge with something like that.
So you guys don't see this happening. Y'all don't see...
He's not relinquishing Jack.
No, I mean... Look what he did with JJ. I mean, that was obvious enough for me. Coming as a Cowboy fan as a kid to see that and understand that he really didn't want to win. He wanted control. He wanted to say that I did this, I did that, but you hired a man to do all that for you, but you still want the spotlight.
The thing is, he's not going to let go until he get one without Jimmy on his own.
I think that's probably what he's looking for right now, to prove to everyone that, hey, it was me. Look at me. I did this.
Well, he said that in ESPN in the interview. He said, I'm getting all the blame now, but if we win it all, I want all the praise.
Jerry Jones is what, 70-something years old?
Yeah, his mama lived to be a 90-something, so he's not going to die off anytime soon. So I'm just,
you got this. My thing with Jerry Jones is, this dude is like in his 70s. Right. Billionaire. Has all the money. Everyone knows who he is, but still he's looking for that thing.
He's looking for validation as a football guy.
But as we continue, it's very frustrating being a Dallas Cowboy fan. Let's move on to the head coach, Jason Garrett. Red. Wow. Damn. This is a tough one.
He's a good guy.
He's good man, maybe. Man. I don't know the man personally, but he was a former player. He was on those championship teams in the 90s.
Yes, he was.
You thought
that the game too.
You thought he would come in and right the ship. It has not happened.
Yeah, you want to put the blame on him a little bit just because stuff you hear in the locker room make it seem like he don't have control, but the stuff you see on the field make it seem like he got control. He congratulates the team now and then and everything like that, but I don't think he have a full grasp of it. Like we just said about Jerry, he's almost like he's like a puppet. But
that man would not have anything positive happen simply because of what he did to Wade.
Now, you're talking about that. This is Jason Garrett. What did he do to Wade Phillips?
He set Wade up.
This is and I agree with this.
Wow.
He set Wade he tanked on purpose. This is why you can pretty much see why the Dallas Cowboys have not ascended to that spot because of the crap that you did. Because how can you Cowboys that year? You know we're talking about. What was it? The 2010 season. He was the offensive coordinator. Wade Phillips was the coach, and Dallas at that point was 1-7, 6, something like that.
Yeah, it was horrible.
They played Green Bay Packers on a Sunday night game, 45-7. They lose. They have a bye. Of course, Wade Phillips is fired. Jason Garrett takes over. Next thing you know, the Cowboys is scoring over 20, 30 points a game.
Patrick Creighton said that the new playbook came out where they was attacking downfield, and everybody asked that question: where was this at first? Yes, it was two wide receivers who said when they got the new playbook, they were like, well, where was all this at this earlier part of this year or last year?
Yeah.
They said they were bumping heads in practice where he wanted to keep the offense out, and Wade was like, bring everybody in. He wanted to stress his authority, and he kept the offense out, going against what the head coach wanted.
Okay.
And like I told you before, there was no way Jerry was going to pay him head coach money and keep him as an offensive coordinator. Something had to give. And
that right there just kind of confused me. Is offensive coordinator getting paid more than the head coach?
Yes.
Like, really? I mean, being a football fan, that was brand new for me. So hearing that was just like, okay, something definitely is wrong here. Yes. Something's being set up. Something's not played right.
Is as we dive further into this discussion, I see no hope, but it gets worse. The two quarterbacks that Dallas had, Brandon Weeden, he was already there. Of course, Romo got hurt.
He just depressed me putting that picture up on that thing.
Yeah,
and
that's all we've been getting lately. I don't know.
And then the Cowboys went out and signed Matt Castle. They actually traded for Matt Castle. They traded for him.
Yeah, hurt my feelings.
Could have been other quarterbacks I think they could have looked after, but Castle was just the guy who carried the Patriots, and they looked at that like maybe he can do that for us.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing about that was it was the system that carried him when he was with the Patriots, like it carries Tom Brady now.
Yeah,
it's all about the system. But these two quarterbacks could not, for some reason, work within this system of the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
They got one win, and Castle got the victory against the Deadskins. That Monday night football game. They made that decision not to draft a quarterback. They made that decision going into the 2015 season that Brandon Weeden is our guy. Jerry Jones himself said he is the purest passer in all of the league.
Yeah, that shows that cocaine was still running. Cocaine was still running through Dallas like water.
They did this. They did this. The coaches, whoever, Jason Garrett, all the other coaches, they sat there and they said, you know what, we're not going to draft a quarterback. We're not going to go out and get another one. Brandon Weeden is the guy. As we go further into the abyss, Greg Hardy. He turned out, the first few games, he got like 6 sacks, was lighting it up.
You know the
nosedive after.
No. You know what gets me? When they shut him up, his production stopped. It's a direct correlation. When they told him to shut his mouth when he was speaking out against Brady and all these other guys, his production went south. He wasn't able to talk trash. He wasn't able to hype himself up for these games.
Basically, he couldn't be himself.
No.
And that was almost like another problem right there. Off the field.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was basically a big headache for everybody. All these allegations coming up.
You know Jerry gave him that. I'm going to give you that Terrell Owens contract. You screw up one time, you're out of here.
Man, I think he did that to Terry Glenn, too. Yeah, he gave him that crazy-looking contract. Like, you get hurt, you basically almost, get nothing almost?
That's right. You out the door.
The last game of the NFL season for me, is why I don't think they should re-sign Greg Hardy is because he had some money on the table. Literally, he had to go get some sacks, cause a little trouble on the field against the Redskins, and he did neither. So for me, I say, you know what? And then I'm hearing he's out there partying, he's doing this and that.
He's been a Cowboy.
He's being a Cowboy, but it seemed like these Cowboys ain't fit for that.
These guys not understanding these one-year contracts is basically 1 year. Do you want another 2-3 year contract?
Like, hey,
something.
You gotta go play.
You know what I mean?
The next fella, Mr. Randall. These are all the
underwear thief,
the cologne thief, the panty thief.
Stayed in trouble.
You get trouble. He stole like what $150-something worth of stuff.
Yeah. Underwear.
That 2014 season. Yeah. When I heard that, I was on my trip and I couldn't believe it. After the big game, you know, wow, you really serious? You did that?
Dallas made a decision to say, you know what, we want him as our running back. We'll let DeMarco Murray go. Mm-hmm. Fine. We got Joseph Randall, who you end up cutting in November, I believe.
Loyalty, it played a part.
So
it was loyalty because he probably was promised it.
This is all the faults of the Cowboys, and it's god awful. New one now is Mr. Gregory.
4-game suspension.
Yeah.
Mr. Randy Gregory has started, and look at the tears.
Usually that's Jordan face right there.
DJ's coming down.
I love my quarterback.
I wonder, whenever this game was, did he forecast him crying like this now? Because he's missing the first 4 games without pay. Mm-hmm. Because whatever the substance abuse was, I'm guessing it was the marijuana, maybe.
Yeah, but didn't they just say that 7 or 8 Redskins are in the same boat?
What?
Yes. 7 or 8 Redskins are in the exact same boat.
But wow.
Rick James said it best, that the other stuff is a hell of a drug, boy. These football players can't get rid of it. Let's move on to the captain of the team, Mr. Romo.
Yeah, I'm glad this is coming to a close fast because we're going to argue about this one for a
We can continue this on another time, but Romo got to be healthy. Mm-hmm. The man is hurt all the time. He's a little old in the tooth for a football player. And he's not the most athletically built dude anyway, compared to these new jacks, Russell Wilsons and the Kaepernicks and, these quarterbacks they're monsters now.
Mm-hmm. Little known history fact. He plays soccer. That's why he's nimble in the pocket.
Yeah.
That's why he's quick on his feet. He plays soccer. He switched over to football when he was in 9th grade.
Well, I never
But the worst thing about it is, he can't stay healthy, but for years of being behind the worst offensive line in football, it's going to wear on you.
Yeah.
Well,
but at times you can't blame the offensive line now because the time against the Eagles,
now,
that was his fault.
Yes.
I got to say that was his fault for him running out the pocket, taking so long to throw that ball. And I seen that similar angle from Aaron Rodgers taking that hit, and I was just like, hey, you did that to yourself, Romo. You had that line was just perfect right there, but you ran out. Could have easily threw the ball away.
Well, I put it this way: he had to run out there for a reason. He doesn't run out there for giggles. So somebody was after him, so he had to go. But the worst thing about it is when the defense is down there. Understand? Throw the ball away. But once you're out of the pocket, they still get a free hit.
Yeah,
damn right. And
so it's better than getting grabbed and actually pulled down to how he was tackled and everything.
But the biggest thing is, you got to remember, defensive players are taught the pancake. The first thing they do is let their weight go in.
Yeah. After all of this, it looks like to me the Cowboys is headed for another disappointing season. But we are going to continue the fight and continue this discussion another time. And folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Chisholm.
Thanks, sir.
And always, Mr. Civils. Peace.